Hello and welcome to part 1 of my Necrophos jungling guide. There are several different ways you can jungle Necrophos. You can now do ancients, and also you can farm the normal jungle very fast using this Highground jungle technique, which I introduced in the Keeper of the Light videos. So there are 2 different ways you can jungle on Dire and 2 different ways you can jungle on Radiant, so I figured I would make this jungle guide in 4 parts, 1 part for each way you can jungle. In this part 1 I'll show you how to jungle Necrophos efficiently on the Dire jungle, then I'll talk about the pros and cons of jungling a Necrophos. For those of you who have seen my Keeper of the Light jungling where I also use this Highground technique, this is gonna be quite similar. Start off by right clicking the first neutrals that spawn in the rune camp, then stack the 2 medium camps at the same time, and to do this pull the creeps at 43, because then when they run back to their camp it's gonna be 53 and then you can pull them again from all the way up here. The projectile should hit the rune camp at 53 and the other medium camp at 55. The starting items I would use is a Quilling Blade into Fast Gloves of Haste. You will get the Gloves of Haste at 1 minute exactly, so you should be able to get it before the mid lane needs the courier to get his bottle. Then you should get Boots of Speed, and from here you could use the Gloves of Haste to complete the Midas, but I think it's a lot better to complete the Treads. It's safer, and when you're killing the hardcamp stack later on, the Treads switching is just such a powerful tool. Later on in this video I'll talk more about the items and the skills. At 143 do the same trick as you did a minute ago. Pull the creeps at 43 so you can easily stack the 2 medium camps at the same time at 153 and 155. So I'm stacking up the 2 medium camps here to begin with because I want to get my level 3 and get my level 2 aura as soon as possible. Then when the rune camp is cleared I will stack the medium camp plus the hard camp, and in between that farm the rune camp every minute. The goal is to get to level 6 or 7 as soon as possible so I can kill off the big hard camp stack with Death Pulse using a mango and some Treads switching action. So the projectile should hit the hard camp at 53 and the other medium camp at 55. So now the medium camp is nicely stacked, and in just a second I'll have my level 2 Heartstop aura and I'll have my Boots of Speed. Now is the time to move out of the safety of the high ground area and start killing off the rune camp while being closer to the medium camp, because this way you'll slowly be killing off the other medium camp with the Heartstop aura. Also, you can use some Death Pulse to further damage the 2 medium camps at the same time. Just remember to watch the timer so you don't miss a stack, and preferably you want the rune camp to be cleared and empty every time you go to stack the medium camp and the hard camp. You should only hit the creeps which have a lot of HP left, because this way you maximize the usage of Heartstopper aura, which in the end will increase your overall jungling speed. The one exception are the little blue ranged satyrs, because they take little to no damage from Heartstopper aura and they will do whatever they can to mess up your stacks. So if possible, use some right clicks and some Death Pulse to kill off the little blue satyrs as soon as possible. Now the trees have grown back, but you can still stack by cutting down some trees here, or you can do like me and play it safe and use a Death Pulse to pull the medium camp so you stack both camps at the same time. Now you got 2 levels in satyrs, which I think is what you need to keep your mana up. From here you will start to rely more on Death Pulse, so unless you need your ultimate for ganking, you should level up Death Pulse on level 6 and level 7. So far I've been relying on my level 2 Heartstopper aura, but now I need all the mana I can get. So now 5 minutes into the game I've bought 2 branches and a mango to go with my completed Treads. And now you see the Tread switching action just got real. I'm using intelligence Treads when I'm right clicking and when I'm using Death Pulse. But when the creeps are dying I want the Treads to be on agility, because this way I'm getting more usage out of my level 2 sadist aura. And when you eat your mango you also want the Treads to be on agility. You need the mango to make sure you have enough mana to kill off the hardcamp stack. The big satyr in the hardcamp stack got the HP aura which counteracts your Heartstopper aura, so killing off the hardcamp with Death Pulse and mango is the way to go. On level 6 you are able to kill off the hardcamp stack, but if possible you should wait until you're level 7, because a level 3 Death Pulse does a lot more damage than a level 2 Death Pulse. So now I'm level 7 at 7 minutes, and even though I'm low on mana, the mango and the Tread switching will ensure that I have enough mana to kill off the hardcamp stack. So I just stack it one more time, and this time I choose to only stack the hardcamp stack because the stack is already huge and I don't want to mess it up. So look at my Tread switching here. Intelligence while I'm using Death Pulse and agility while the creeps are dying. So this gives me 2000 gold. In this replay I'm going for a Dagon, which I'm sure a lot of you pop stompers out there will appreciate. But you can go for whatever you want. Picking up a Midas now instead of earlier is not even a bad way to go. So I'm level 9 in less than 10 minutes, and the Dagon will be completed in just below 11 minutes. So if you jungle Necrophos like this, it can be really fast. But let's talk more about the starting items first. Early Gloves of Haste is the best way you can speed up your jungling. A few Ironwood branches is optional, but not really necessary. The Boots of Speed are needed because Necrophos is painfully slow with a base movement speed of 290. Also the gloves and the boots are crucial so that you can pull off the double stacks later on when the camps get a lot bigger. Because let's compare Keeper of the Light with Necrophos for a moment. Keeper of the Light got good movement speed, good attack speed, good animations and a long attack range. Necrophos, not so much. So you actually need the boots and the gloves on Necrophos to make sure you can pull off the double stacks without failing. And besides, there are no other items that Necrophos really needs to increase his jungle speed early on. If you want to, you can sacrifice a little bit of your jungle speed by helping out the other support with courier wards. It is definitely an option. As for the items later on, it's even difficult to make a list of suggested items because Necrophos can go in so many directions. So just do your thing in the jungle, and depending on how much free farm you get, just buy your items accordingly. If you have good farm, you can build into this frontline tank with Bloodstone, Halberd, BKB, Blink Dagger, Octarine Core, Lotus Orb, stuff like that. And if you have a bad game, you might just die too fast if you're the frontline tank, so if you have bad farm, it might be better to stay a bit more on the back and build into some more support oriented items like Rotavators and Glimmer Cape and stuff like that. And as always, your items should depend on what your team needs and who you're playing against. No matter if you have a good or a bad game, Aghanim Scepter is just a fantastic item on Necrophos. In a late game scenario, it's like you're playing 5 against 4. If you manage to get Reaper's Sight off on a key hero, or maybe even 2 heroes, then it often means a free lane of Rags because they can't defend with a long death timer and the fact that they can't buy back. When you jungle Necrophos, you should skill him like this, but with one exception. The moment you leave the jungle and start ganking, you should put a level in your ultimate. So either try to think ahead and time it when you need to pick up your ultimate, or you can simply hold one of your skill points until you know if you're gonna need it for ganking or jungling. So I got this weird 2-2-2 build going on, which I think is the safest way, especially after the addition of the mango. I also tried this out with the max Heartstopper aura build. It is not as safe because it is hard to kill off the hardcam stack with only the Heartstopper aura. In patch 82 I used to jungle Necrophos with the max aura build, and since you don't need any mana items with this build, you can rush a Midas and it is actually disgustingly fast. Like Midas mechanism in less than 11 minutes. So if you're curious about the max aura jungling style, you can watch it here. But I will say that in a high level game it's a lot safer to jungle like I did in this video here, with the 2 or 3 levels in Death Pulse and the mango. Necrophos in pub and team games. Necrophos in pub games can definitely work. In addition to being so much fun, you got a jungler here who is capable of taking over a game and really make an impact. You can rush a dagger and get a blink dagger while roaming around the map killing people left, right and center. Or you can get some safer items to help out your team. And in pub games it's more likely that you will get away with jungling Ancients in level 1. Although I wouldn't do that. What I would do is I would start out in the normal jungling, and if I got away with it, perfect. And if they invade my jungle and they ward off all the camps, then I would go to the Ancients as a form of backup plan. Your offlane can even stack the Ancients a few times so you have a nice big stack for when you go farm the Ancients. Team games. Necrophos jungling can also work in team games. He farms really fast and he can carry like an absolute beast. He can retreat to the Ancients, so even if the enemy team wards off all of your camps and go offensive tri-lane, then you can still get your levels by going Ancients. In team games you can invest some resources in defending your jungle, and you can have an ally hero help cut down the trees and kill off the stacks. That being said, Necrophos doesn't have an escape mechanism and he doesn't have summons, so he can get ganked, and something like a roaming bounty hunter would be really annoying to deal with. So the way I see it, Necrophos jungling is a high risk, high reward kind of strategy. If it was me jungling a Necrophos, I would feel a bit safer doing this on the dire side, especially when it comes to the Ancients. The Dire Ancients are a lot safer to use in my opinion. If you check out part 2 where I found the Dire Ancients, you'll see what I mean. What are the pros and cons of jungling a Necrophos? Pros: you can farm fast and a big impact hero. A level a minute up until level 9 is fast, and this is even after the 84 jungle nerf. Reaper's Sight is a game winning ability, especially if you get Aghanim Scepter. You don't need any regen and you remain at full HP at all time. You can put a ganker on the safe lane. This is like the Drow Ranger jungling scenario all over again. Necrophos as a hero plus the fact he can farm this fast in the jungle means that you can use him as your position 1 carry, and then you can put a ganker on the safe lane. What are the downsides of running a Necrophos in the jungle? Your medium camp stack can get stolen because you're slowly killing it off the Heartstopper aura. But you can have an ally hero to help clear the medium camp stack. Or I thought of this really funny combo where you have an offlane Clock who just keeps spamming rocket onto the medium camp, so this way Clockwork gets some of the gold and Necrophos gets all the XP and gets his levels up even faster. And also this strategy shares some of the same weaknesses as Keeper of the Light jungling. It's a bit clunky to cut down all the trees, you're vulnerable to incoming ganks, and this style of jungling requires both skill and especially lobby game practice to pull off consistently. I would even say that the Necrophos jungling is just a little more difficult to pull off than my Keeper of the Light jungling, because even with boots and gloves you still got worse attack range, worse animations than Keeper of the Light, which can be quite annoying when you're right clicking the creeps from the high ground and when you want to pull off the double stacks. And also you need to find the balance between when to kill the room camp and when to damage the medium camp stack. At the very least you don't have to worry about your clarity getting cancelled, so at least that part is easier than the Keeper of the Light. But I would still say that Necrophos dire jungling is slightly harder to pull off than Keeper of the Light jungling, so on a scale from 1 to 10 I would give this an 8, at least if you want to get the same fast level timings as me. This is some pretty advanced stuff and I'm pretty sure this is gonna be the hardest to execute jungle guide I will ever make, probably. On the bright side, the other 3 parts of my Necrophos jungling guide will be easier to pull off. In the other parts I'll show you how to jungle Necrophos safely on the dire ancients using a magic stick and early treads. I'll show you how to get a 4-minute minus on the radiant ancients, and also I'll show you how to do this high ground jungle technique on the radiant side. So if you want to check out the other parts of the jungle guide, you can click here on the left. And if you like what I'm doing, then please subscribe to my channel. Will Necrophos jungling ever appear in a pro game? I would think not, simply because the pros doesn't like to run a greedy carry in the jungle. Normally pros are looking for a jungler who can buy the courier, who can gank, who can push, who can protect himself in the jungle. Necrophos doesn't quite fit this description. Also it depends if the pros will take the time to learn this, because this is quite difficult and will require some lobby game practice to master. If Necrophos jungling should be done in a pro game, then this is how I would do it. You pick the dire side, Necrophos buys a Quilling Blade and a courier and starts off in the dire jungle. You do what you can to defend your jungle, and if anything goes terribly wrong, then you retreat to the dire ancients. So I think this style of Necrophos jungling is good enough that it could be used in a pro game, but let's see if anybody got the balls to actually try this out. I'm looking at you, EG. Thanks for watching and see you soon for the other parts of my Necrophos jungling guide.